Hello everyone, welcome to WD18, the Watford fan channel. Welcome to a midweek edition of Sunday Night with Shane. Not on a Sunday, on a Wednesday this time. We wanted to leave it a little bit of time after the Easter bank holiday weekend. We've seen Watford play, we've seen Swansea play, and yesterday we saw Brentford play as well. We're going to get the reaction from Shane, and we're going to dissect how it is to be a Watford fan at the moment. Shane, first off, mate, how are you doing? How's it going?
I'm good. I am actually good. As you can tell, I'm in a much brighter, potentially better mood than I was for the match preview, for the match review after the Middlesbrough game. I've got the shirt on, for example, so it's all yellows, it's all smiley, it's all happy now, and I'm actually good. I think looking back at some of the results and so on that have been, I think the Twitter page actually did pose the question: is this a point gained or 2 points dropped? I think I was very much of the opinion after the game that it's still a point gained. After Brentford's result yesterday, it's definitely a point gained. We've got to take into account the whole Easter bank holiday kind of feel. Good Friday, Easter Monday, I think it'll take its toll on anyone. I know there's this prevailing opinion that I've seen of, a lot of the younger players in the squad. Oh, João Pedro's 19, he shouldn't really be tired, but everyone gets tired. You know what I mean? Like everyone, if you tell
no one's a machine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you tell someone to go and play on Friday and go and play again on Monday, there is going to be some effect on that person. Yeah, all right, these players are at the peak of their physical fitness now, but it's still big given A, the season that we've had, B, how congested the season is, and more importantly than that, we've got a lot of our players that were on international duty. 11 players from a championship squad. That's incredible. We've got full internationals in this team. And I guess that's almost merited our very good form at the moment. We've been able to, I think, to keep hold of a lot of the players that, were so strong for us last season. We've actually been able to keep hold of. I look at Sal in that respect. I mean, he's been probably the biggest one that we've been able to hold on to in that regard. But it's definitely a point gain, and Neil Warnock's sides, as I say, incredibly tough. He lined up very well. I think there are a lot of people who are giving him praise. Again, typical Neil Warnock, very much on the charm offensive before the game. Came out, he gave us a very glittering actually almost talked.
He picked us up, didn't he? Yeah,
he did massively. Let's see that second. Oh, they'll definitely go up. Oh, I think they're the best team in the league at the moment. Kind of thing. So,
yeah, I think it was one word where he said we're going to stroll second or something, and I was like, all right, Neil, calm down.
I was like, whoa, are you serious?
chill.
Yeah, and that's the thing, though, right? That's the message he had for the media, but in the dressing room, it was something completely different. He had a plan to nullify our biggest threats. João Pedro had a very quiet game. He had the biggest chance, I think, of the match. But apart from that, Ken Sema, Ismail Assar obviously did score, but aside from that, you didn't really see a whole lot from them during the game. The midfield battle, I thought, was pretty much equal throughout. I thought we looked okay, but I think some of that was kind of taken off slightly. Chalobah's tackle on Morsey, which was a great tackle, by the way, and he was getting booked, and that was a pretty early booking as well. So, again, kind of nullifying the threat in that midfield in a way. The one big thing, though, about the game was, I think, the performance of Francisco Sirialta. I thought he was brilliant. The back line, as a whole, were very organised. All right, it's nothing really they could have done from the set piece, I get that, but and it was a good header and a good finish from Yannick Bolasie. But, I think Sirialta put in a great shift in there. Alongside him, though, Trusticon, I thought he struggled. I've seen him as a potential early contender for, potential rotation for Friday night. Do you still stick with the same team? Or do you kind of change things up a little bit now? I maybe go against changing things up so drastically. I don't think he had an absolute nightmare. I don't think he was by any means, but he wasn't his usual solid self. Whereas I thought Sirialta was terrific, actually, throughout. And
he was awarded man of the match, wasn't he, Sirialta?
Yeah, absolutely. No, and very, very well deserved. And I think coming off the back of that, all right, that, as I say, our tempo wasn't brilliant in the game, but we managed to grind out a draw. The post-match reaction from that game was one of disappointment, which was actually very refreshing. And it shows that the players had more to give. And I think, had that game come round again, I think Cisco maybe would have maybe slightly differently approached the game, potentially in who started the match. So, for example, I called out João Pedro earlier. He missed a big chance in the game. He was very quiet, though, throughout. Nothing. every time he kind of got the ball, he seemed to lose it quite quickly. He didn't have the ability to kind of hold it up. Now, that's not really Zhao's game, admittedly, but up against Middlesbrough, the kind of team that they are, a very physical team, maybe someone with a little bit more physicality about them. Talking about Isaac's success in that respect, or
even Andre
Gray, or maybe even Andre Gray in that respect. So maybe there could have been something there, but with João Pedro, if he's fit, you've got to start him. His best position is down the middle. You can't then keep changing and chopping things out there because everyone else in that team was actually fit. And if João Pedro is fit, you go with the start with our strongest 11. The strongest 11 is João in the centre, Seba on the left, and Sarr on the right. And if they're all fit, as they all were, Sarr going off to internationals, got the extra time off, started on the Good Friday. You've got to start all of them together, really.
Shane, I wanted to touch on the kind of front three. You mentioned there was a little bit of a drop-off. I think we can all admit as Watford fans, it wasn't a stellar performance from us on Monday afternoon. What do you put that down to? Is it purely just tiredness? Because, the Championship fixture schedule is relentless. It's off the back of the international break. You mentioned the likes of Truce de Kong was away with Nigeria. There was a number of players who were out on international duty. Do you think that plays a part in it? Do you think that plays a part in maybe the drop in intensity, maybe over the last two games, really? Because despite us picking up 4 points, I think the performances haven't been at maybe the top and what we've seen before from Watford this season.
Yeah, I thought whilst we got the result on Good Friday, the performance wasn't incredible. We didn't blow Sheffield Wednesday away. Now, that maybe says something a little bit more about Sheffield Wednesday than it does about Watford, really, because, they came off the back of a good result on Easter Monday themselves. So
looks even better, doesn't it, now, that win?
Yeah, it does. It does look even better. It shows that actually, again, the same way Middlesbrough were able to keep a lot of our big threats quiet, we were able to keep their biggest threat quiet, I think, in Barry Bannon, who was, I thought, just ran the show, frankly, on that Friday night, Friday afternoon.
Superb.
It was absolutely brilliant. And I think the international break is an interesting one. I don't think it came at a particularly good time. I think it's definitely had an impact. I think it kind of got to a point during the game on Monday, in that second half or so, and I just thought I could point 3 or 4 players that just looked shattered, who just looked like they couldn't give any more. And let's be very clear about that. The tempo did drop off, and I do think it was down to the international break. Now, we know in this season we've had plenty of midweek Saturday kind of games, and this week is no different. The players have got 3 days before the Reading game. After that, though, it's an 8-day gap to the Saturday game in the big derby game. So they're going to have 8 days. A few days off rest-wise, a few days of training, etc. But the big thing is that a lot of those players are going to be given a rest, and a rest before the last 5 games of the season. I actually think, I don't know if I'm right in saying this, I think the Norwich away game is the last midweek set of fixtures. I think that might be the case. Yeah. And in that way, we play the derby on Saturday. It's a 3-day gap to Tuesday night against Norwich. That's the last short kind of turnaround they have between their matches. But they've been constantly coping with that throughout the season. And this is, I think, where the potential journeymen in this squad could prove to be vital. We've had the experience. You've got Will Hughes in there. He's had a championship campaign with Derby. You've got Craig Cathcart. You've got Troy. You've got those players who have played the intensity of a promotion campaign, who know what it takes to be in this position right now. And I think those players, I see Troy is coming back from injury, etc. He's stepping up his recovery. I think Craig Cathcart, I think getting those players back again, getting them within the squad, is going to be crucial. I would also, I would say that specifically for Troy's case as well. I think if you bring him on the last 20, 25 minutes, you can easily see out a game. You can easily hold up the ball well. It's that big game management experience that I just think we lack a little bit in this team right now. We've got experience, don't get me wrong, but when you need someone to come on, just hold the ball up for 20 minutes, don't do anything silly, and basically protect what we have, protect what the team have worked so hard for during the game. I think Troy's the ideal candidate for that. And
even Tom Cleverley, Shane, I've seen him, his
Cleverley
name.
As well. Absolutely, yeah. And Cleverley is also back fit as well. And again, I did see a couple of arguments for, all right, maybe Cleverley should have started on the Monday. Maybe he would have offered us more experience. You can't really change a winning team from the good.
And you can't risk it, can you, with that injury?
No, exactly. No. we can't. And I think Cleves will be eased back in ever so gently throughout the rest of the season. But no, look, as I said, it's almost certainly a point gained. We've got to put things right now on Friday. A point gained is fine. We've said that. Great. Now, knuckle down, get back to winning ways again, because other teams have done us a favour. Yeah, that's great. Good for them. But we need to be focusing on our performances. We can't be relying on Watford putting in a subpar performance. That's fine, because other teams will just bail us out. No, that's not the mentality. That's not the mentality that will get you promotion, really. And so, no, it's almost certainly a point gain, but work to do, I think, for Friday night.
Yeah, absolutely. And we just take a look at that situation with the league table, Shano. It's between us, Swansea and Brentford. I think we can all kind of narrow it down to us three at the moment. And with the results over the weekend, who do you think is the main team we need to be looking out for, Brentford or Swansea?
I think it's Brentford. I think right now. Swansea at the moment, I think they're in a bit of free fall form wise. I just don't see how they're going to cobble things together, really. Although we could all be proven wrong with that, but I think Brentford are the biggest threat. I actually follow a couple of Brentford fans on Twitter, and they're not particularly happy with their team's performances. One of which is actually called for Thomas Frank to leave, basically, because they're genuinely not happy
at this point in the season.
Yeah, at this point in the season, a lot of fans have pointed to the fact that actually, if we bring in a new manager now, we'll get that new manager bounce at some point, which I think is a big risk, to be honest with you. But
yeah, that is a big risk.
but it's one of those things as well. It was very much a theme from a lot of the comments I saw about their game yesterday. They lacked intensity. I think Sergio Canos missed the 1-on-1, and a lot of comments now were like, "Why are all these fans defending him? We're in the hunt for automatic promotion. Those are the kind of chances you have to be taking." And there's a lot of frustration coming from there. I think Brentford are the biggest threat. You've got, I think as Elliot mentioned in the match review, they've got Rico Henry returning from injury. They've
missed him big time, haven't they?
Christian Norgard, I think, as well. And of course, you've got Ivan Toney up front, who could bag them in with his eyes shut at the moment. And that's just that's another point as well. It's another interesting fact. I think they were saying, actually, I think on it might even actually no, it was on the EFL highlights.
Colin Murray.
Yeah. I just had to get him in there.
I saw your little smirk there, Shano. You mentioned the EFL show, and you're like, "Oh, here we go."
Oh yeah, I know, here we go. Ding ding ding, tick that one.
Yeah, tick that off the bingo.
No, but in all seriousness, though, they kind of made the point to me that Brentford are one of, I think Brentford and Norwich are two teams that actually do have players in double figures this season. Watford are not. We've only got Sarr. Sarr only got his 10th goal on Monday, basically. So shows that our goals have been quite widely distributed. But let's be honest. If you're Brentford now and you've got a 1-on-1 on the last game of the season to potentially clinch automatic promotion, it's going to fall to Ivan Toney, and you think he's going to score, right? So they've always got that threat with him in that team. They've got Josh De Silva, I think, as well, who's also coming back from injuries. So they are our biggest threats. I just hope, they have a couple of slip-ups left in them, and we just carry on winning. That's just how it's got to be. I don't want it to come down to the penultimate game of the season. I don't want to be going to their new stadium expecting to get and needing a result. We need a win to keep our automatic promotion hopes alive. Brentford are only 3 points behind, and they could go level on points with a win to effectively take it to the last game of the season. I am not in the market for that. I will actually self-combust on the last day of the season if that was to happen.
The point that you mentioned there about the run-in, Norwich, Brentford, Swansea, the next few games for Watford are absolutely crucial, because regardless of whether those teams are in form or not, they're some of the teams at the top of the championship table, and also they will turn up against Watford because of the position we are in.
Norwich were absolutely imperious yesterday, weren't they? They were. I think their fans always knew that they had that kind of quality, but to go out and absolutely blitz a team like that, it had to be Huddersfield, didn't it? Really, and you felt sorry for them, but they are far and away clearer at the top of the table. And fair play to them. I've had some nice experiences at Carrow Road all down the years. I was there for when Troy made his debut and all that, or all the way back, to a couple of years
Danny
ago.
Graham.
Yeah, Danny Graham. What a great game that was. Honestly, fantastic game. And that game, and being there last season as well, the 2-0 win, the first win under Flores, experienced many highs and some crushing lows really at Carrow Road. I look forward to hopefully being back there next season. Let's touch wood on that. I'm not gonna get too carried away just yet. But look, they're far and away up there at the top. I read somewhere that they need 5 points to basically confirm their return to the Premier League.
If they win and Brentford and Swansea fail to win, they're up. It was mentioned on social media, obviously that's the way we're connected with Watford fans at the moment, about potentially us going for the title. Do we need to just write that off now and just go, right, automatics is just, that's the main aim?
Promotion has got to be the aim. Second spot has absolutely got to be our biggest focus. I'm uneasy with people saying, I wasn't really bothered about the title kind of thing. Well, no, I was, because when we closed the gap to only 6 points, when at one stage Norwich were 15 points clear at the top compared to where we were, I don't think you cannot think about that. But, I'm unashamed to admit I did have a small weep to myself when I realised that the title was no longer reachable. So, it's always something. Listen, it's always something you want to go for. If it's within distance, you think we could potentially get there. But Norwich are far and away the best team in the division this season, and credit to them, credit to Daniel Farke. They got their act together early doors, didn't they? They got it together. They've looked pretty much imperious throughout the season. They've had a couple of wobbles, but let's be honest, they've juggled things very well with the whole schedule and everything. And in Emiliano Buendia, they've got a hell of a player in that guy.
What a player.
I don't really know what's more concerning, really, the fact that Buendia is so talented, or the fact that Norwich managed to keep hold of him. I don't really know.
Yeah,
Mental. But fair play to them. But what you said was actually quite crucial there. They in their next game they need to win. Brentford and Swansea failed to win. It could be the case that they win on Saturday. Swansea and Brentford don't. They then confirmed it. The spotlight back to Tuesday night again, because we'll turn up at Carrow Road, we're an already promoted team. Well, that's it. We're done now. Oh, that's fine. Yeah. And does that maybe play into our hands a bit more? I think it almost certainly does. If we say, all right, fine, well, they're top, whatever, that's fine. We need to focus on second, and the focus now must be on second. That could probably play into our hands as well. As I said in the match review, there is action and interest everywhere. A game may not necessarily affect Watford because they're not playing, but it will affect them in the long run. Norwich picking up and securing, if they were to do that on Saturday, massive. Because that means on Tuesday night, not to say that their standards are going to drop, but they've got nothing to fight for. They're not thinking, oh my God, Watford are right behind us, we need to put out our best performance. Nah, we've done it, and it will be on us. I don't think it's... I think it's almost kind of weird now in saying this, but I don't think Norwich are the biggest threat. I think it's the teams that have got nothing to really fight for. Middlesbrough, if we're being honest, do they have anything to fight for? I think
an outside playoff chance, not a lot.
Playoffs have gone now. I think if we're being honest, playoffs have gone for Neil Warnock's team, and I think he kind of knew it as well.
Shano, just to jump in there, Luton and Millwall, the two teams. Obviously, if Norwich have confirmed the title by the time we play them, but you look at Luton and Millwall, the two teams who I think they're pretty much safe. They haven't got a lot to play for. So, I mean, Millwall were actually, funnily enough, played 40 and have 58 points. Unlikely to get the playoffs. Luton are mid-table. No. They're not going to get relegated unless Rotherham go on an incredible run. So, are those the two games that, for you, in a way, maybe a little bit more nervy for, because those teams kind of maybe want to spoil the party a little bit, as we saw in 2014-15 on the final day?
The derby's the big one, isn't it? Really, that's the big one. Saturday, 3:00. Actually, I will give a very regular viewer of ours a lot of credit here. I think it was Caroline that mentioned this. Big up to Caroline, by the way. Always watching our streams. I love hearing what you've got to say on things. But I think it was her that actually said Luton is the one game this season, between now and the end of the season, where I don't expect to be proper flowing football to be played. It's going to be a scrappy game, that one. They're going to be looking to cut us up at any time that they can. Cut us up by way of passes moving forward, our free-flowing football. The pitch there isn't actually all that bad, actually, from what I saw on Saturday, in their highlights and all that. But it's not going to be suited to us. It's not going to be suited. I guarantee you that immaculate pitch is going to be absolutely scruffed up before that game on Saturday. They're going to know how we play. They're going to know how we play. They're going to know the carpet that we come home to, at Vicarage Road. So that is the game I am really worried about, because that has got party poopers written all over it, that one. You could tell, a tight game, maybe very similar to the Middlesbrough game. It was a tight game at Vicarage Road when they came. It kind of hinged, didn't it, on that 1 minute of ball coming in, those guys hitting the crossbar, it rebounding out, clearing the ball, João Pedro scoring up at the other end. Their fans weren't happy. It wasn't a real derby kind of atmosphere. I'll tell you what, it will be a proper derby atmosphere on that Saturday. I can guarantee.
The players will know, won't they? Yeah, the players.
No, the players we bang up for it, and there are a couple of 2-3 individuals in that squad that absolutely want to get one over on us. Absolutely. And that's where I really worry. Norwich, yeah, great. They've got their great football, fantastic. Swansea, Brentford, we know about them. We hope it doesn't come down to the last 2 games. But it's the Derby and Millwall that I'm genuinely not fearful of, but I fear as though not so much our standards could slip, but they've got nothing to play for, and they'll just go for it. You know what I mean?
They've got nothing to lose, have they? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If you're Gary Rowett, you've got absolutely nothing to lose in that game. Well, we're mid-table. Can we go and cause an upset at a promotion, at a team well above us, up in second spot, looking to secure the automatic promotion spot?
Shano, just to wrap up today, really simple question. 6 games left of this season. Watford have played 40 games. We sit on 79 points, 23 wins, 10 draws, 7 losses, with a goal difference of 30, which is another thing to mention, because we've got a superior goal difference over Brentford and Swansea, and particularly Swansea. That's almost like an extra point. So that's something definitely to bear in mind come the end of the season. Shano, how many wins do we need between now and the end of the season, in your opinion, to secure promotion?
I want to say 3 more wins will do it. I want to. It's very dependent on what happens behind us, though. I would maybe go on the safer side and say 4 wins out of 6. I think that is a little bit more realistic.
Yeah, that does it.
And that ultimately drops if other teams kind of don't pick up points. I think if we win on Friday, then we've kind of got back to winning ways again. We then got a full 8 days until the derby, rest up, and get ourselves a result there. I think, as I say, if we beat Reading, if we win the derby, we will be in a great position, regardless as to anything else. Norwich will be a tough game. Other circumstances may well affect their preparation for that game, and that could be another opportunity for us there as well. Millwall must be winning those kind of matches at Vicarage Road, and the pressure's on, must be winning those kind of games. And I hope it's those 4 games there that I mentioned that we're able to do it in. I don't want to go to the last 2 games of the season. I don't want to be turning on my TV the game against Swansea City. I realise that Keith Andrews is doing the other match, and I'm not going to have his wisdom and guidance to guide me through the game. And I've got Don Goodman calling Vicarage Road ironic. I don't want that. That's not how I want to spend the last Sunday of the season, right? Because there's going to be a lot of pressure on that. And and let's be clear, we're talking about things from our perspective. We've not even considered, what if Swansea all of a sudden have a bit of a bounce back? What if they're still in contention? What if it goes to the last game of the season and a win for either Watford will send them up automatically, or win for Swansea sends them up automatically, considering, and this is only considering, that Brentford are out the picture, which, let's be honest, they're actually not. So
no, they're not at all. Both teams aren't.
And that's kind of the point as well. Going back to what we spoke about in the match reaction, getting a win against Middlesbrough would have given us clear daylight. I mean, it would have been a cascade of sunlight basically between us, 3rd and 4th. But still got hard work to do. I am confident. I think, if I'm being honest, I think we will go up automatically. I do think that. I thought that for a little bit of time now.
Touch wood, Shane.
Exactly, no. Touch wood, I did. We all saw it, I promise. VAR will absolutely confirm. I think. But listen, look, I have been confident now. It's just down to the players to show us the talent that they've shown us since Cisco arrived. It's down to the players to put in the hard graft. and ultimately make it a team effort and make the fans proud. And ultimately, you know, it's going to be tough 6 games, but I have every faith that this Watford team will come good.
Shane, well said. You've got me. Oh, I'm buzzing now. I really want to go to the last 6 games of the season. I actually felt my stomach turn a little bit when you mentioned those fixtures, but it's a big period for the football club. It is in our hands. That is the main thing. It is in our hands, and fingers crossed Watford can deliver and can deliver to the promotion to all of you guys as well. If you did enjoy the video, guys, please do leave a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe to WD18 for more Watford fan content. We'll be back with some more videos looking ahead to the 6 games of the season, starting with Reading on Friday night. We should have a match preview in the coming days, looking ahead to another big game for Watford. As I said, please leave a like on the video. Don't forget to subscribe. Follow Shane on socials, at Hornet Shane, at HShane WD18. The link is in the description, and we'll see you very soon. Come on, you Hornets.
Come on, you Hornets.